So guys, I just finished watching Dragon Ball Super episode 14 and man, that was just my favorite episode. I am enjoying the series so far. I am going to be one of those guys that's just 100% biased to just Dragon Ball Super and Japanese anime as opposed to the dub. I don't think that I'm going to enjoy the dub. I don't even think I'm going to rewatch the series when it comes out in dub. Let me go ahead and tell you guys my favorite moment of the episode. So before we get started with the review, be sure to follow me on Twitter at DFreeDBZHD. I also have another channel. If you guys didn't know, I have an Instagram, a Facebook, all at DFreeDBZHD if you guys are on those social media platforms. So let's get into the review right now. It starts off with Goku still in space because Goku, if you guys didn't know, last episode I believe, he lost his Super Saiyan transformation, his Super Saiyan God transformation. It reached its time limit, hence why it's not a good transformation, guys. So let me slow down, I'm talking really fast. But Goku was able to absorb and retain the key because Goku's that 1 in a million guy. You know, like Beerus said in the movie, he's like, you're really good. 1 in a million, in fact. Goku's that guy. You know, he was just able to absorb and retain it. So he's still fighting Beerus in the Super Saiyan God form. Super Saiyan form, my bad. Well, it is Super Saiyan God, technically, if you want. He's a Super Saiyan and he's a god with the... I'm just playing. That's SSGSS, Proto, SSGSS, gold haired. Calling it right now, trademark it. But anyways, he's still fighting him, and you know, their fight's pretty interesting in space. They're going blow for blow, exchanging ki blasts, if you will. And Beerus is just like, yeah, you're done. And then they go down. They're fighting in space. They go down, fighting in the air on Earth, and then they start fighting in the sea. And I'm such a big advocate for when they start fighting underwater. I love that so much. I love it. It reminds me of when Goku was fighting, I believe, Frieza, and he just, you know, planted those Kamehamehas. He was like, you stay right there. And he moved it, Kamehameha, you stay right there. And he just shot him out the water like a rocket. I just enjoy that so much. That was probably one of my favorite moments of that fight with Goku versus Frieza. But you know, they get out of the water. They're in, well, matter of fact, they're under the water, and Beerus is trying to suffocate this guy. He didn't let him up for air. And they get out of the water. They start fighting, and then they wind up back in space. And, you know, they're still going blow for blow. And I forget exactly what happened, but Goku ultimately gets knocked down. Beerus is like, yo, you're done. And Goku falls down. He starts falling back into the stratosphere for Earth, and he's just falling down. And he just gets these flashes in his head, just like, this guy's really gonna destroy Earth. He starts seeing his friends, his family, his wife, and he's like, no, I'm not done yet. And he flies back up at Beerus, rushing him, and he was like, this is the power of Super Saiyan God. And you know, I really think that Goku's persistence is incredible, and you don't see main characters get wrecked the way Goku's gotten wrecked in this fight. You just don't see it. And for Goku, you don't really see him get wrecked like this outside of probably what happens to him in Dragon Ball, because there were several instances in Dragon Ball where Goku was not the strongest. He had to leave and come back and get stronger, etc., etc. So I think it's been so long since I've seen Goku literally just not have a chance at winning. Beerus is just that much stronger than this guy, and I really think that Beerus' voice actor is incredible. I think this guy is just great. The way he can go from just at the drop of a hat and just be like, you're no match for me, to be like, oh, pudding, oh, just like, I love this guy. I think Beerus, just as a character, has gotten so much development from the start of Dragon Ball Super, and that's what I've been trying to tell people. I am a big advocate for allowing Toriyama to retell the stories. I get that you're impatient, yada yada yada, because it's not necessarily 100% original content, but the reality is that in 2 hours with Beerus and Whis, and then another hour-and-a-half film with Beerus and Whis on the sidelines, not even main characters, but on the sidelines, talk about Resurrection F, that's not enough time. That's not enough time to develop these characters. So I was okay with retelling the Battle of God story and Fukatsu no F story when they get there. So I think that Beerus has had so much character development from the start, and it turned out really, really well. But, you know, as far as like what's happened with the fight, Goku comes back, he rushes him, and, you know, Beerus knocks him down again. He's like, hey, if you recall, our fight started off with this flick to your forehead. So, hey, it's pretty anticlimactic that it's going to end off with another flick to your forehead. And he does it. Goku starts falling down, and Goku's like, nah. And he comes back again, and Beerus is just like, what the hell? He was like, why can't this guy just die? Why wouldn't you just stay down? That would have been the perfect feel-good moment for this fight. Beerus is just so emotional. Like, I just love Beerus' character. He's probably my second favorite character now behind Gohan, just simply because of his portrayal in Dragon Ball Super so far. And you know, Goku's obviously fighting an uphill battle, a fight he just really can't win. So he gets back to fighting, and like I said, Goku gets knocked down again. And that's it. That's it for Goku. His transformation's done. He's out of power. But you know, one thing, I think that I'm in love with Masako Nozawa now. No matter how old she is, she's still doing a great job voicing Goku. And I just don't think that this show will translate well if they make changes as far as dub goes. I don't think it'll translate well. But she said something that was probably the most epic line I've heard her say since I've been watching Dragon Ball Super, period. She was like, hey, or Goku was like, hey, you know, you may be a god, but don't go trying to tell me what my limits are. And I was like, oh, this guy's, oh my god, I was like that. I was done. I just saw that, I was done. And he was done too, because he fainted after that. He passed out, and Beerus just looking at him like, did this mother just call me? Oh my god. And he had the nerve to faint afterwards. And Beerus was just like, okay. It's apparent that Beerus recognizes Goku as an adversary, somebody that can actually make him push his limits. So he's not there yet, and throughout the duration of the last couple episodes, Beerus has been claiming to be using 100% power. It's almost like when he claimed to use 10% against Vegeta. I keep telling people he did not use 10% against Vegeta the entire time. He may have used 10% at one instance in the fight, but he didn't use it the entire time. And then with Goku, he didn't use 100%, period. He may have had to use 100% every now and then, because there were moments where Beerus looked like he was struggling, but I don't even know if that was him putting up a farce and just, like, you know, trying to make it look like Goku was pushing him. I don't know what Beerus was doing. Like I said in my last review, it's very hard to get a hold on how strong Beerus truly is. It's very hard. And so what happens in the end, I think this episode was probably my favorite episode, simply because it was such a good combination of action and comedy. And what I mean by comedy is they get back down to earth, and Beerus is like, hey, we're not done, we're about to destroy this shit. So I don't know who it was. I think it was Piccolo. Whoever said it. Somebody was like, hey, whoever can fight, step forward, because this isn't over. And Hercule's like, oh no, I'm not. He tries to back out. He turns around, Videl's standing there, but her arms crossed, just staring at him. He's like, oh shit, I gotta go ahead and stand up. And he goes forward, and Beerus is like, yeah, this is the end. And Hercule's like, oh crap. And his phone goes off. He's like, Sumimasen, sorry. And it's just hilarious. I just started dying. Hercule's phone would go off about some press conference shit right at the time they all about to be destroyed. And so Beerus lets it rip. He lets it rip, and he falls asleep. They take off, they're gone, and Whis says in space, hey Beerus, you can stop acting like you're asleep. And Beerus wakes up because he wasn't asleep, and he was like, yeah, that planet is very interesting. I never thought that those barbaric Saiyans could change. And he was like, it really changed them. And Whis pointed out that the planet changed him too, like Beerus. And he was like, yo, you weren't really using 100, you were just trying to, you know, essentially make Goku feel good and bring out more of his power. That's what you were doing. And he was like, oh, is that obvious, huh? So yeah, we don't even know. He didn't put a number to it in this, but in Super, in Battle of Gods, he put 70%. We don't know if he was using that or more in Super, because there were moments where it looked like he was struggling, but a lot of it, if you really watched the fight, he had the upper hand the whole time. It looked like he was pulling punches a lot. So yeah, there was that. And at the end, this is my favorite moment of the episode. I want to know you guys' favorite moment of the episode, but Gohan and Goku, he's like, hey dad, I'm sorry I didn't tell you before, but I'm a father. And he's just like sweating, and there's this awkward moment, some shit you would see on like reality TV, and I thought that was so great. And the music, and just the episode was really, really well done. It just had the perfect combination of comedy, fighting, the music was on point. It was just really, really funny. And Goku's response to Gohan was, well, you better eat a lot of food. And I was like, that is such a Goku thing to say. It really fit well. And, you know, it really captures the fact that Goku is he's more like, the guy's in his 40s probably at this point, I believe, but he's more or less just a big kid. He's really just a big kid. He's not a grown man. He's just a big kid, yo. And I think that really just speaks to him as a character and his progression throughout the series. And by progression, I mean the fact that this guy really just hasn't changed at all. Like, ever since he was a kid, he's the same exact personality. And I thought that was great. So the episode ends off with Vegeta claiming that he won't need to do the Super Saiyan God ritual. He's like, I'll find a way to do it on my own. I don't want your second-rate Super Saiyan God power. I'll surpass Beerus. I'll surpass Super Saiyan God, and I'll especially surpass you. I don't know. I don't know if they'll do a ritual. I just think it would be petty if they're just like, hey, let's all join hands. Let's all huddle up, huddle up, huddle up. My turn to go Super Saiyan God. And I just think that's so petty. I just want a reason why. I don't mind if they do a ritual. I don't give a fuck. I don't, because it's not gonna. The red-haired form will last for like an episode or two, because he's gonna go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. It's not gonna last. So I don't give a shit. I just want a reason why. I don't want that just to be some cliche. Oh, well, Vegeta, you're kind of jealous. You're kind of jealous, and let's do some petty shit. We're all just gonna do Super Saiyan God transformation. But I don't know. I really loved that episode. It was great. I'm starting to ramble a little bit, guys. But that's it for the saga. So let me know what you guys thought about the saga as a whole. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know what you guys think will happen with Vegeta. I'm asking you guys a whole heap of questions. You guys can tweet them to me. Shout out to Dr. Love for giving me that idea. But that's it for me, guys. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Peace out.